दोस्तों, ये हमारे लिए बड़े ही गौरव की बात है कि आज इस भवन में, इस मंच पे हमारे बीच ऐसे व्यक्तित्व हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं जो ना ही सिर्फ इस शहर को, प्रदेश को, पर इस देश को एक उज्जवल राह दिखाते हैं। हम सभी जैसे जो युवा यहाँ पे हैं उनको आगे बढ़ने का महत्व सिखाते हैं, एक बड़े व्यक्तित्व बनने का महत्व सिखाते हैं। So let me invite onto the stage the chief guests for today. And let me start with firstly Mr. S.Y. Qureshi ji, Uday Mahurkar ji, Director Culture Aditi Tripathi ji, Raghav Chandra ji, Meera Das ji और अभिलाष खांडेकर जी। मैं चाहूँगा दिलकश तालियों के साथ हम इन गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर्स का स्वागत करें भोपाल लिटरेचर एंड आर्ट फेस्टिवल के मंच पर, नॉलेज का महाकुंभ 2022। और बेशक हम सबको बहुत सारी खूबियाँ, बहुत सारी बातें आज सीखने मिलने वाली हैं, अवसर मिलने वाला है। और जब तक हमारे जो गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर्स है वो मंच पे आते हैं, जब तक वो यहाँ पे आते हैं, मैं आपको इन सभी व्यक्तित्व से, महान व्यक्तित्व से रूबरू करवाता हूँ।
अदिति त्रिपाठी साहब,
I would request the volunteers to please go ahead and
Abhilash
sir and Aditi Tripathi ji, if she is around. Yes, तालियां होनी चाहिए. Okay. So sorry. I'm sure it won't happen again.
Director Culture
Aditi Tripathi ji. Any volunteer?
भारत भवन के कोई हो तो जरा प्रेमशंकर शुक्ला साहब के यहाँ जाके उनको बुला लें।
जी हाँ, साथ में बाहर जो लोग हैं उनको भी बुला सकते हैं। Okay, so before we move ahead, let me just brief you about the dignitaries here. Mr. Shahabuddin Yaqub Qureshi ji is an Indian civil servant who served as the 17th Chief Election Commissioner of India. He has authored a book. Yes, that calls for an applause. He has authored a book titled An Undocumented Wonder, The Making of the Great Indian Election, a book that describes the enormity and complexity of the Indian election, and a book titled Old Delhi Living Traditions, a coffee table book on the heritage city and its social and cultural life. And meanwhile, Aditi Tripathi ji would be here. Let me just brief you about him. He is the Cultural Director of Bharat Bhavan, Director Culture, NP Government, Joint Secretary, Cultural Council of Madhya Pradesh, Scholar of Sanskrit and Science, and Honorable Member of Sangeet Natak Academy. Next we have Mr. Uday Mahurkar ji. He is an historian and he is also the Central Information Commissioner of India. That again calls for an applause, I believe. He is an author, political analyst and historian who specializes on 4 subjects: Veer Savarkar's legacy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's governance, radical movements and distorted history. He is indeed one amongst the great people that we have here from the whole of India. Now, time to name the person who has weaved the literature and the brilliant minds together. He is an inspiration for many. He is the one and only Mr. Raghav Chandra, Director of Society for Culture and Art and the Director of the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival. He is also a former civil servant, alumnus of Harvard University, founder CEO of Consult app, and as I said, the Director of the Bhopal Literature Festival. Next we have
Tripathi sahab.
Please welcome Tripathi ji with a round of applause. The Cultural Secretary, Bharat Bhavan and of the Madhya Pradesh government. So we are extremely delighted to have you. We have Meera Das ji with us. She is the Secretary of the Society for Culture and Environment. She has held 2 exhibitions on Air India through the cultural journey. Last one was attended by the Aviation Minister Sindhya ji. She is an art historian and an architect. She is also the former member of National Monuments Authority. she has been a convener of INTEC, and she has successfully completed several projects on heritage conservation, and she was also the one who initiated heritage works in Bhopal back in 2003, and certainly once again applause for her. Last but not the least, we have Mr. Abhilash Khandikar ji. He is a veteran multilingual journalist standing close to over 40 years of experience in print and electronic media. Mr. Khandikar was elected unopposed the president of the Indore-based Madhya Pradesh Cricket Association in 2019. He had also anchored a popular weekly environment program on Lok Sabha TV in Hindi by the name Astitva. मैं चाहूँगा हम सब तालियों के साथ इनका स्वागत करें। और दोस्तों, मेरा मानना है कि BLF सिर्फ एक लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल नहीं है, पर पिछले 4 सालों में हमारी जिंदगी का एक हिस्सा बन चुका है। And who else better than the man of the moment himself can let us know about the history and about the stories of Bhopal Literature Festival. So I would take the pleasure to invite on stage the director, the one and only, Mr. Raghav Chandra sir, to let us know about...
Let us present some bouquets to our
guests. And to present a heartful welcome, I would like the volunteers to please go ahead and present some beautiful bouquets to our guest of honors. आपकी तालियां रुकनी नहीं चाहिए, आपकी तालियों से ही जोश और उम्मीद रहेगा।
I take it myself.
Over to Chandra sir.
Our chief guests for the occasion of the 4th edition of the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival, S.Y. Qureshi Sahab, Shri Uday Mahurkar ji, and on the dais, Aditi Tripathi Sahab, Abhilash Khandikar ji, Meera Das ji, distinguished participants, authors, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you on this inaugural moment of the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival, the Knowledge Kumbh of Central India, and I hope in the days to come it will be the Knowledge Kumbh of India. This is our 4th edition, and 2 physical editions we had of the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival, and last year because of COVID we were forced to have a virtual, much more truncated edition. This year too we had planned to have it in January, we had made full preparations, but again because of the outbreak of COVID we were forced to postpone it. There were immense number of suggestions that we should do it online and virtually, and that we should not necessarily have it, but we said we'll go ahead and have a physical session, and there we are. I'm extremely thankful to all of you for having supported this at this stage, to have given us the inspiration, the encouragement to go ahead, and as a result of which we have it in the live hybrid form. Most of our sessions, 90% of our sessions are live. A few because of various compulsions, because authors have not been able to come or whatever, we are having online. The Bhopal Literature Festival is conducted by the Society for Culture and Environment, which we founded 4 years ago. Meera Das ji and I, and Abhilash Khandikar Sahab, and a few other members of the society are here. Meenakshi ji is there, Brigadier Sanjay Agrawal is here, Naeem Mansoori ji is there, and various others. The purpose was entirely to fill up a vacuum which we perceived, which was there. I had gone to Jaipur and I found the Jaipur Literature Festival an extremely engaging, a very vibrant sort of literature event. And that's when I realized, as an administrator who had spent all his life in Madhya Pradesh, that Bhopal, which used to be known as the cultural capital of the country when Bharat Bhavan was built in the early 80s, had suddenly acquired the reputation of culture in a somewhat different way, that there was a lot of song, dance, drama, music. It was certainly ahead of various other capital cities. But when it came to international literature, Bhopal was nowhere near. There was a lot of Hindi literature, but there needed to be an English literature, an international literature event too. And that is where there was a vacuum, and I felt that there was need to plug this vacuum. As a result of that, we have had some very, very active and very vibrant and very useful literature sessions here. We've had various Padam Shri, Padam Bhushan, Sahitya Academy awardees here. We've had diplomats, civil servants, celebrities, thought leaders, Pradeep Kishan, Bittu Sehgal, Pranay Lal, Vivek Menon, environmentalists such as them, diplomats, civil servants such as Shiv Shankar Menon, Pavan Verma, T.C.A. Raghavan, Amar Sinha, Rajiv Maharshi, Amitabh Kant, Anthony Risa, Rajni Shekhri Sibbal, and so on. We've had military intelligence and diplomacy experts such as General Atta Hasnan, General Mohinder Puri, Shiv Kunal Verma, A.S. Dulat. In fact, a professor came all the way from the USA, Professor Barnett Rubin, who came here because he had heard that this is going to have very interesting discussions, and he was extremely impressed with the quality of the discussions here. We've had social commentators such as Keki Daruwala, Bachi Karkaria, Vinita Daura, Anil Dharkar, who's unfortunately no more, Seema Goswami, Vinita Bakshi, Ashali Verma, Koral Das Gupta, historians, mythologists such as Shunalika Kaul, Ashali Verma, K.K. Chakravarti, Rima Huja, Christopher Doyle, researchers, scholars and scientists such as Madhvi Menon, Radhakrishnan Pillai, Ila Patnaik, Babli Moitra Saraf, Simran Chadha. We've had management experts like Sachit Jain, Ashwini Lohani, B. Kumaraswamy, Animesh Parihar, and we've had artists and art scholars like Manish Pushkale, Ashwini Lohani, Akhilesh, Bajju Sham, Jitendra Jain, Alka Pandey, Anubhav Nath, Tara Douglas, Geeta Wolf, Vivek Tembe, John Bowles, Irvin and Christine Neumayer. We've had Hindi poets, and I would like to go on record that this is not to say that when we talk of English literature or international literature that we want to ignore Hindi. We are very much in support of Hindi literature. It is just that it needs also to be looked upon in a larger worldview. So we've had Udyan Vajpayee, Ashok Chakradhar, Nand Kishore Acharya, Arun Kamal, Ratan Kiyam, Ramesh Chandra Shah, Santosh Chaubey, Purushottam Agrawal and various others. There have been topics and discussions on food and fitness, Sunita Kohli, Kavita Devgan and various other authors who have participated. Magsaysay Award winner Rajendra Singh Ji was here talking about his conservation of water platform and the work that he has done. Chintan NGO founder Bharti Chaturvedi has been here. Mridla Ramesh, who writes on climate change issues, she has been here. Raghu Chundavat has been here. Jairam Ramesh, former minister, has been here. Mahesh Rangarajan has been here. Various others. Ajay Bisaria and Didar Singh, Anurag Srivastav, Sanjeev Shriya, Shabri Nair. We've had the biographies of Subhash Chandra Bose, Gandhiji, Martin Luther King being analyzed by people like Anuj Dhar, Pramod Kapoor and Santosh Bakaya. We've had foreign authors such as Stefano Pelle, the CEO of Ferraro, who came over all the way to address us. Vineet Bajpayee, the management expert, has been here. Air Commodore Nitin Sathe, Devdutt Patnaik, who writes about mythology and its interpretations. Ashwin Sanghi, the famous novelist, has been here. Various other authors such as Hindol Sen Gupta, Usha Narayanan, Preeti Gail, Noor Zahir, Venkatesh, Harini Srinivas, Parvati Sharma, Swapna Little, Janice Pariyat, Ajay and Atima Mankotia, Satyarth Naik, Behir Srivastav, Sadhna Shankar, Vinita Sinha, Rajesh Joshi, and Arun Kamal, Rajen Sharma, Naval Shukla, Uma Shankar Chaudhary, etc. have participated very fully in this literature festival. We've had various art exhibitions. The first year we had a complete art exhibition of Bajju Sham. We had the next year an art exhibition of photography by the famous Rajesh and Naresh Bedi brothers. And we've had in between various other events such as Geshi Dorji Damdul, the director of the Tibbet House, came and addressed us. and so on. Every year we give away an award for the best work of fiction by a woman author, and this year's award has been won for her book Kintsugi by Anukriti Upadhyay. She'll be coming here on the 26th and therefore will be receiving the award during the valedictory on the 27th. But before I close, I would like to mention the purpose and the ethos of the Bhopal Literature Festival and why we are talking of it and why we are trying to evolve it as a knowledge kumbh. And the other day, the Jagran Lake University had invited me to address their School of Liberal Arts, and the point I made was that in the days to come, knowledge is going to play and make the critical difference between the winners and the losers. Technology is important, and which is why we have so much exodus for engineering, IT, and so on. But technology by itself will not be sufficient. It will be important to use technology as a tool for further growth rather than to become slaves of technology. The leaders of the world will be those who will use technology as a multi-dimensional tool, but who have the leadership skills, the knowledge and the ability to look both at the past and in the future to utilize that knowledge for their leadership and for effectively moving forward in the future. Today, the youth of the country are spending about 2 to 3 hours, and that's a lower estimate, on social media. They are totally absorbed by various facets of social media. In fact, there have been very, very analytical reports in various magazines how youth in UP are just bothered about that special little quota of free internet usage that they get. They climb up on the roofs, watch all kinds of stuff, and at the end of the day, they are unemployed. So with increasing unemployment in the country, and if we are to utilize this demographic dividend as a demographic tool rather than a demographic bomb, we have to wean youth away from absolutely absurd levels of usage of social media, and which is why platforms such as the Bhopal Literature Festival, the Knowledge Festival, they are extremely relevant to get youth to think in terms of the basic skills which are required for the future, which are analytical skills, the skill to summarize, to make précis, the ability to be able to do critical reasoning, and the ability to articulate themselves for the future. Youth should be able to read and write effectively, learn multiple skills, and become global citizens steeped in Indian values of dhyan, dharma, parupkar, saishnuta, and ahimsa, etc. This can only come when they read books, listen to knowledgeable people, and learn to articulate their thoughts effectively. I am happy to state that this year the Defense Ministry, the Union Defense Ministry, came forward and they wanted us to do a few sessions on gallantry, which we have kept. I am also happy to say that the French government came forward and they wanted us to do a couple of sessions. We had kept 4 sessions in January, but unfortunately because of COVID, those got postponed, and now we just have one French author, Pascal Brunner, who's their topmost philosopher come novelist, who's coming forward and will be here for the session on the 27th morning. I want to convey that the state government of Madhya Pradesh is our partner in this event, and they have wholeheartedly always supported us. Aditi Tripathi Saab is there. It's extremely, who's representing the Principal Secretary Culture, who has had to go for an urgent UNESCO meeting, which was unscheduled, and he was regretful that he had to go, so he asked Aditi Tripathi Saab to be present. That Bhopal is emerging as a knowledge city. It has enormous number of knowledge institutions, and the state government wants to partner us to carry this mission forward of creating this as a knowledge kumbh. I welcome the chief guests. I welcome all of you, and I hope that in the days to come we will be able to gain from strength to strength and make the Bhopal Literature Festival a true kumbh of knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the inspirational words. And अब मैं आप सभी की तालियों के बीच बुलाना चाहूँगा कुरैशी साहब को। मैं दरख्वास्त करूँगा वो यहाँ आए और हम सबसे अपने ख्यालात, अपने जज्बात, अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस साझा करें। और तालियां और भी जोरदार होनी चाहिए फॉर आवर गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर डियर लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन।
यहाँ से बोलने की इजाज़त है? शुक्रिया। राघव जी, अब मेरे फेलो पैनलिस्ट, हिंदी में बोलूँ? मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई इस फेस्टिवल के इनवाइट होने पर। दूसरी बार मैं आया हूँ, उससे पहले ये 2019
इलेक्शन वाली किताब।
हाँ, तो पहले मैंने इलेक्शन पे किताब लिखी थी, एन अनडॉक्यूमेंटेड वंडर द मेकिंग ऑफ द ग्रेट इंडियन इलेक्शन। उसके 5 एडिशन आ चुके हैं। हर एडिशन पे नहीं बुलाते हैं, एक ही बार बुलाया इन्होंने। तो इसलिए मुझे दूसरी किताब लिखनी पड़ी, पॉपुलेशन मिथ, इस्लाम, फैमिली प्लानिंग एंड पॉलिटिक्स इन इंडिया, and give a session tomorrow 11:30 on that, and I would request that you do come. There are lots of unusual facts you will come across. In just 4 years, Raghav has done wonders. I've known him as a service colleague and also from my college. So he is a great organizer and a great visionary. The way he set up this festival, and with the very first festival was a great success, and after that, of course, its reputation is only getting better. Congratulations. I remember when the Jaipur Literature Festival was first inaugurated many years ago, my initial reaction was of surprise, almost of shock. Literature Festival? ये क्या चीज़ होती है? क्या होगा इसमें? लेकिन उसकी बड़ी पब्लिसिटी हुई, जो बड़े VVIP नाम उसमें फिल्म में आते थे, मैंने कहा मे बी इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द VVIP. बट लेटर ऑन व्हेन आई अटेंडेड द JLF, I realized what a carnival it is, what a mela it is, and I'm so happy when I saw you have given it a name, Knowledge Kumbh. Now there was a time last 10-15 years with the advent of social media, that we thought the books are now out of fashion. They will die. कोई किताब नहीं लिखेगा, कोई किताब नहीं छापेगा. वो ऐसा साबित नहीं हुआ, बल्कि एक रिवाइवल हो रहा है. हर फेस्टिवल की सक्सेस, बाद में मैंने उड़ीसा फेस्टिवल, एक हैदराबाद फेस्टिवल अटेंड किया, और हर जगह इतने लोग उमड़ के आते हैं. तो ये देख के बहुत हौसला अफजाई हुई कि तो बहुत ही खुशी की बात है कि लोगों में नॉलेज के लिए, इल्म के लिए इतने वो है, डिज़ायर है, और कितने शौक से उसको अटेंड करते हैं. दूसरे, एज एन ऑथर मैंने देखा कि एक किताब अगर आप लिख दें तो ये एडिक्शन हो जाती है. पहली किताब लिखना बहुत मुश्किल काम है, उसके बाद तो फिर किताब पे किताब आने लगती है. हालांकि मेरा एक विश्वास है कि जो लोग 20 किताबें लिखते हैं और 50 किताबें लिखते हैं, मैं उनको नहीं मानता, क्योंकि 20 किताब लिखने के बाद भी अगर आपकी किसी उस किताब को, एक किताब को भी कोई नहीं जानता, तो आप किस काम की वो किताब है? किताब तो एक होनी चाहिए जो आपको लाइफ लॉन्ग और आपको हमेशा के लिए एक ग्लोबल मैप पे डाल दे. एक्चुअली मैंने नहीं लिखी है वैसे अभी तक वो, लेकिन मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट है कि होलसेल में जो लिखने लगे ना, उसमें वो क्वालिटी आती नहीं है. लेकिन 2-4 किताबें हम सभी लिखते हैं. मुझे यकीन है कि हर फेस्टिवल के बाद जितने यंग ऑडियंस यहाँ पे आती है, कि ज़रूर 1-2 ऑथर वो उसी फेस्टिवल में, हर फेस्टिवल में ज़रूर क्रिएट हो जाते होंगे. और अगर ऐसा है 1-2 भी हुए तो बहुत बड़ी सक्सेस आपकी है, वो आपको द फेदर इज इन योर कैप. So with these words, I'm extremely grateful to Raghav for inviting me, giving me an opportunity for my presentation of my book tomorrow, and also meeting Mima Holkar ji, a very eminent person, a great journalist, a great writer, and all of you ladies and gentlemen. Bharat Bhavan, when it was founded by Mr. Ashok Vajpayee, we used to hear about it. You know, it was all India great achievement. और बाद में अशोक वाजपेयी जी बिल्कुल मेरे इमीडिएट नेबर थे दिल्ली में, तो कई साल हम साथ रहे. तो उसमें जो आके तो और भी, मैं डायरेक्टर ऑफ पब्लिक रिलेशंस ऑफ हरियाणा यहाँ पे विजिट करने आया था, देखने के लिए कि क्या कैसे कर रहे हैं. तो वाकई ये जो भोपाल ने ये मॉडल क्रिएट किया, ये भी एक सराहनीय है. राघव ने बड़ा अच्छा कहा कि भोपाल एक्चुअली एक ज़माने में कल्चरल कैपिटल था इंडिया का, और वो दोबारा इसको बनने के डिजर्व करता है, और मुझे यकीन है कि आपकी एफर्ट उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी. धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। नेक्स्ट मैं चाहूँगा उदय माहूकर जी भी हमारे साथ अपने ख्याल साझा करें।
राघव चंद्रा जी ने जो ऑथर्स की लिस्ट जो हमारे साथ शेयर की, अलग अलग फील्ड्स की, वो इतने इम्प्रेसिव थे कि मुझे लगा कि 4 साल में इस लेवल पे इवॉल्व होना बहुत बड़ी बात है। और कई लोग ये कहते हैं, आजकल कई बार अपन जाते हैं तो कहते हैं कि लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल हर सिटी में हो रहा है, लेकिन इसका एक अलग महत्व है। टीवी के आगमन के बाद, सोशल मीडिया के आगमन के बाद अगर रीडिंग हैबिट हमारी कम होती है तो उसमें समाज को बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है। इसके लिए ज़्यादा लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल हो, वो समाज के हित में है। श्री नरेंद्र मोदी को गुजरात में रीडिंग हैबिट को सस्टेन करने के लिए एक वांचे गुजरात नाम का उनको 1 साल का प्रोग्राम चलाना पड़ा, पढ़े गुजरात। उसमें उन्होंने ऐसा इवॉल्व किया था उसको कि स्कूल लेवल पे लोग कंपटीशन होती थी, किताबों की होती थी, पढ़ने की होती थी। तो लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल एक अहम महत्व है और इस लेवल पे उसका आना। देखिए, भोपाल की मेरी जो यादें हैं, जब मैंने राघव चंद्र जी से कहा कि वो है भारत भवन की, कि भोपाल एक तरीके से कल्चरल जो सिटीज थी देश में, उनमें से एक गिना जाता। लेकिन बाद में जो नया कल्चर आया, पॉप कल्चर आया, मैंने जैसे कहा टीवी कल्चर आया, उस पर वो सबस्यूम हो गया है। लेकिन इस फेस्टिवल के बाद मैं मानता हूँ कि भोपाल की जो ओरिजिनल छाप है वो उभरेगी और लोग इसमें आएंगे। इसमें देखिए नॉलेज शेयरिंग में, अभी भोपाल जयपुर लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल में था अभी कुछ दिनों पहले, मेरा एक सेशन था मेरी किताब पे। लेकिन मैंने जब अलग अलग सेशंस में पार्टिसिपेट किया तो सही में नॉलेज कुंभ आपने जो नाम दिया है बहुत ही पर्याप्त है। इतना नॉलेज हमें लगता है कि हमें सब आता है, लेकिन जैसे हम सेशंस में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं तो हमें ये लगता है कि ये बात तो मुझे नहीं मालूम थी। तो इट्स अ नॉलेज शेयरिंग, नॉलेज गैदरिंग सेंटर इन दैट सेंस। एंड आई विल कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट राघव चंद्रा जी, मीरा दास जी, Vilas Khandekar ji and their team for working so hard and taking this event to such a great level. और मुझे I have no doubt that it will further rise, it will see further participation, it will see participation from even foreign writers. As you said that there were some last January when this event had to be postponed. So wishing them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And now it's time we felicitate some of the authors that are here and we unveil their book. We get it unveiled by the guest of honors. And in the list, the very first book is titled as The Warrior Widows by Ambreen Zaidi ji. आइए मैं चाहूँगा वो मंच पे आए और उनकी किताब का विमोचन हम हमारे गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर्स के द्वारा करवाएं। The Warrior Widows is the debut book of Ambreen Zaidi ji. She is a well-known columnist and an author. Her book, The Warrior Widows, is a tribute to the wives of the soldiers of the armed forces who are engaged in defending the country from internal and external threats. This book brings out the sacrifices, the struggles, and the personal journey of the strong-willed women who succeed in creating their own success story. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. The second book, as the second book we have Laws at War by Dr. H.S. Pavla ji. जी हाँ, जिनको आपने अभी कुछ समय पहले टेलीविजन में देखा था, मैं चाहूँगा उनको भी हम मंच पे बुलाएं। Dr. H.S. Pavla, formerly of the Indian Forest Services, has spent 44 years conserving wildlife, 37 of which have come up at the front line. This book, Laws at War, goes where none has gone before, the dark, convoluted allies inside the conservation laws of India. This book illustrates how the country has committed ecological harakiri by bringing in the Forest Rights Act 2006. Thank you so much, dear ladies and gentlemen.
You will also have to sign your books. एक वॉलंटियर एक किताबें अमरीन जी की लेकर उनसे साइन करा दी वाली प्लीज आशीष
Moving ahead. Moving ahead, the third book we have for the day is The Scindia Legacy by one and only Mr. Abhilash Khandekar ji. Yes, it's a biography. Mr. Abhilash Khandekar in his book The Scindia Legacy has attempted to capture the essence of the Gwalior's 300-year-old family's history, details of the war their chieftains fought, and how the Maratha warriors captured Delhi under Maharji Shinde, the national hero of the well-known dynasty. The Scindia Legacy by Mr. Abhilash Khandekar ji. A biography.
You have to come here.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not the least, we have an interesting title here, The Honeymoon by Dr. Pradeep Kapoor ji. Yes, it's a fiction. It's based on fiction. The Honeymoon is first of its kind scuba diving mystery with twists and turns at every step. Its unique climax is the icing on the cake, and it can be classified as the scientific mystery as it uses medical forensics in solving the case. And I'm glad it's fiction and not a real life story about a murder and about it's a crime thriller, fiction, a fiction book. जी हाँ, तालियां बरकरार रहनी चाहिए. Thank you so much to all the respective authors and the guest of honors. And now, officially, it's time we unveil the mascot for the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival 2022. And I would like to tell you, it's a beautiful painting by Padma Shri Bhuri Bhai ji. मैं चाहूँगा वो paintings लाई जाए, हमारे guest of honors को पेश करी जाए. और Bhuri Bhai ji was supposed to be here, but unfortunately couldn't make it due to her child's illness. पर मैं आपको बता दूं कि पद्म श्री भूरी बाई जी एक ऐसा व्यक्तित्व जिनके आंचल में भील ट्राइबल समाज और भील ट्राइबल आर्ट की अद्भुत प्रगति हुई है. झाबुआ डिस्ट्रिक्ट से वो ताल्लुकात रखती हैं और देखते ही देखते भारतवासियों के दिल में बस चुकी हैं. जी हाँ, वो आज आने वाली थी और उनके घर में जो उनके बच्चे हैं वो आज बीमार हैं, तो इसलिए वो नहीं आ पाए. और मैं आपको बता दूं, इस भवन में जहाँ आज हम विराजमान हैं, इसकी दीवारों में, इसके कंटेंट में सहजता है, शालीनता है. और शायद आपको पता हो कि इस भवन की जो दीवारें हैं, भवन की जो ईंटें हैं, उनको भी भूरी बाई जी के हाथों का सहारा मिल चुका है. जी हाँ, that again calls for an applause. And to mark a gracious end to this opening ceremony, I would like to invite on the dais the one and only Meera Das ji to propose a vote of thanks. Please give a big round of applause for Meera Das ji.
The collective identity of a nation, as well as each individual, is closely linked to the art and literature that we associate with. These are the medium of cultural expression, and we are all shaped by them collectively and individually. The responsibility of successfully helping the Society for Culture and Environment, of which I stand here as a representative, in organizing its 4th episode of BLF, therefore goes to all of us who are present here. I'd like to thank the distinguished personalities on the dais for their graceful presence, particularly Qureshi ji and Mahulkar ji, who had taken time to be in our presence on this occasion from our faculty. To all the esteemed authors who have agreed to be part of this colorful festival of literature, I express my heartfelt thanks. They are the different colors that we display with pride and fill the BLF picture with. Meaning to the fest like this is provided by the listeners and attendees who provide the canvas on which the picture is painted. Nothing manifests without the interested listener. I thank all our attendees for their kind presence. The picture thus painted by the presence of authors and listeners cannot be displayed without framing. Our efficient team of organizers provided the painted canvases a distinguished frame. I cannot but shower praise on Sulakshana ji for efficiently and meticulously molding the frame and smoothing the corners that automatically appear in such operations. Very special thanks to, I would like to thank Mr. D.K. Mehta and his team for handling the wall where the picture frames hang. Many thanks to Mehta ji and his team. I would like to thank our sponsors and partners without whom we would have found it extremely difficult to even start this painting. I would like to thank MB Tourism and the government of the State Culture Department for their complete support. Coal India, Indian Oil, Vardhaman, Dainik Bhaskar, FIFF, Manjul Publishing House, MyFM, Tata Trust, SysTech, Consultant and Ratan Lal Foundation have been great supporters, and we thank them for their kind support provided by them. The high initiative taken by Mr. Raghav Chandra, the engine of our wagon, deserves special mention. I would also like to thank the members of the society who have always guided us and supported us on such efforts, My deepest thanks to Bajju Shamji for his contribution to this fest. Thanks is also due to A Group and Meta Sky, who have joined hands with BLF in the NFT auction of the artwork produced there. You can see him outside doing making the artwork, which should get auctioned. And this auction money goes to the welfare of tribal artists. Finally, Bharat Bhavan has our earnest thanks for the effort and expertise in helping us organize the festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Meeradas ji. And with this, with a bright smile on my face and with the convincing opening ceremony, I would like to request the guests of honor to please take their seats. मैं चाहूँगा जोरदार तालियां होनी चाहिए।